So Megyn Kelly on the Fox channel destroys top Democrat Debbie Wasserman Shultz. Fox News host Megyn Kelly has asked Debbie Wasserman Shultz when she thinks human life begins. Yesterday, CNN grilled the head of the Democratic Party about abortion and whether or not she supported any limits on killing a 7-pound baby in an abortion. As with abortion, she can't answer the question. Last week, the head of the Democratic Party made it clear there should be no limits on abortion, period. And that includes no limits on abortions up to the day of birth, apparently. Quote, "Can you answer that question?" Kelly asked. The question that he was asked and that he's trying to deflect by pushing it out on me is, does he support exceptions? Shultz started saying. Kelly responded, "No, I know. I gave you that point. I see that point. He hasn't been explicit on it. But I'm wondering about you because I have you tonight." Quote, "So from my perspective, from my party's perspective, we do not support rolling back the protection that the constitutional right to make your own reproductive choices established in Roe versus Wade has given to women," Shultz said. In the interview yesterday on CNN, a host gave Wasserman Shultz a chance to clarify her remarks and say whether she really thinks it's okay for a 7-pound baby to be aborted. She responded with many of the same talking points and would not say that a 7-pound unborn baby should not be aborted. Quote, "But is he right when he says that it's okay from your perspective to kill a 7-pound baby in utero? Is that your position?" Wolf Blitzer asked. Quote, "We have very different definitions of personal liberty. I made that clear in the response. The Democratic Party's position is we are pro-choice," Shultz said. "We believe a decision on a woman's reproductive choices is best left between a woman and her husband? No, her doctor. And I am still waiting for Rand Paul to say whether or not he's supporting exceptions when a woman is raped, going to force a woman to carry a baby to term and not allow her to make that choice when she's the victim of rape, the victim of incest. Are we going to let a woman die? Would Rand Paul let a woman die because she's carrying a baby? Or is he going to let her make that choice with her doctor? So those are the exceptions that the Democrats always try and put into every bill that tries to limit abortions. They would say, "Oh, no, you can't force a woman not to abort if it's rape, incest, or she's gonna die in childbirth." They always put that in. Last week, Democratic National Committee Chair Debbie Wasserman Shultz responded to a challenge from Republican presidential candidate Rand Paul to answer the question of whether or not she would support aborting a 7-pound unborn baby. Quote, "Here's the deal. We always seem to have the debate way over here on what are the exact details of the exemptions or when it starts," said Paul, waving his hand to the left. "Why don't we ask the DNC, is it okay to still kill a 7-pound baby in the uterus? You go back and you ask Debbie Wasserman Shultz if she's okay with killing a 7-pound baby that is not born yet. Ask her when life begins, and you ask Debbie when it's okay to protect life. When you get an answer from Debbie, get back at me." Wasserman Shultz responded, making it clear she wants no limits from government on aborting babies up to birth. Quote, "Here's an answer," said Shultz. "I support letting women and their doctor, not their husband, make this decision. without government getting involved. Period. End of story. Now your turn, Senator Paul. We know you want to allow government officials like yourself to make this decision for women, but do you stand by your opposition to any exceptions, even when it comes to rape, incest, or life of the mother? Or do we just have a different definitions of personal liberty? And I'd appreciate it if you could respond without shushing me. I'm laughing, but this is a very serious topic. I mean, she's ridiculous. They literally said she is in favor of having an abortion all the way up to the very hour that the child would be born naturally. Now, for those of you who don't understand what abortion means, a doctor opens up the uterus. Then he takes a scalpel and scissors and he cuts the baby's body up, and then they suck it out. So he destroys, cuts it up into tiny bits and then sucks it out. So could a doctor abort a 7-pound baby? Yes, he certainly could. He could cut it up into little bits and suck it out. That's what we're talking about, ladies and gentlemen. We're not talking about he reaches his hand in there and pulls the thing out and it might be breathing. He kills the baby inside of the uterus, destroys it. That's abortion. That's what we're talking about here. So when I say that you're murdering your unborn child, I literally mean, I don't think people understand what abortion means. I don't think these young women or even older women going in there, because abortion, the word, doesn't tell you what's going on. The doctor destroys. I don't understand how any doctor who took an oath, do no harm, why would a doctor be okay with aborting, with performing an abortion? It doesn't make sense to me. But these are the same doctors that will give you these dirty vaccines, that will give you untested vaccines. We have here in Las Vegas a doctor who gave over 200 people hepatitis B from using dirty needles and dirty vaccines. So it should come as no surprise to me that doctors are actually performing abortions. I curse any doctor who performs an abortion. You are not upholding your Hippocratic oath. Period. I don't care anything about these Democrats, what they're talking about. I don't care anything about that. I don't care anything about, it's the woman's right. No, you don't have a right to murder something. Well, I didn't want the baby kittens. Well, you don't have to murder the baby kittens. In the United States, you can go to prison, full-on prison for killing animals. Prison. And depending on the animal, you could be in there a very long time. If it's on the endangered species list, you can be there. But it's okay to murder an unborn human. Humans are at the top of the food chain, period. There is no ifs, ands, or buts about it. There is no philosophical view about it. This woman says it's okay to literally murder children in utero. And that's what the doctor has to do to get the baby out. An abortion isn't a very nice little, because the word doesn't connote the horror that is going on. Everybody jokes about the Mexican version of abortion, that they use hangers and they go, well, is that any different from scissors and scalpels? Is it any different? You're doing the same exact thing. And that's just what I know. I haven't looked into that much detail, but I know that they use scissors and cut the baby into pieces and then suck the pieces out. You are destroying human life. And she said, this is a quotation, "This is what my party believes. And if you don't believe that, you're not in my party." Black people, do you want to be a part of this? You want to be a part of this party? She speaks for the entire party, with admitting that point blank, out in the open. A lot of people are now thinking, maybe I don't need to belong to the Democratic Party. And then the way that she said it was, this is what we believe. As if the way she said it made it seem like it was a religion and not a political party. We're talking about the chairwoman of the Democratic National Committee. She's the top. She speaks for the entire party. And black people, don't say she doesn't speak for you. If you belong to the party and that's what the party says, that's what you belong to. That's what you got yourself into. Don't act like the homosexuals who say, well, my God believes that I'm okay and he's not against me and I'm not committing sin, so I'm a Christian still. No, don't be like those people. This Democratic Party is a belief system, which we call, in common parlance, a religion. And this woman is your grand wizard. She's speaking for the entire party. Black people, if you call yourselves Christians, you cannot belong to this party. This is the same party at the last national convention volunteered to put as a party plank to take God out of their party plank. You know, where they say like, in God we trust, one nation under God. We're going to take all of that out. We don't believe none of that stuff. And at the convention, somebody said, you know, I don't think this will go over with most of the nation who believes in God. Although they might not be those Southern Baptists or nothing like that, they still believe in God. They're still Christian. Christianity is at its highest that it's ever been in the nation. I'm going to repeat that. Christianity today is at its highest that it's ever been in the nation. Now that seems kind of strange with all the stuff that they teach you in history lesson about the history of the United States. That the United States was one nation under God and blah, 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 blah. No, there are more Christians who believe in God in the United States today than there ever was in the entire history of the United States. It's at a staggering 75%. And yet the Democratic Party doesn't want God, Jesus, none of that. 10 Commandments, none of that. They don't want it to be a part of their plank. And they are the largest party. And they control both parties. Make no doubt about it. Establishment Republicans, that's a euphemism for Democrats. The Democrats took away your party, Republicans that are listening to me, a long time ago. They infiltrated it and took it over. Why? Because they were just so gigantic to begin with. The country was basically one party for a long time. Then the Republicans cropped up in opposition, and they took all the people who were in opposition to the party before and put it under the banner of Republican. When the Democrats wised up and said, hey, we don't need, who cares? Okay, we're going to go take over that party. And it had nothing to do with black people. It had nothing to do with slavery. It had nothing to do with whether or not we believe that everybody should be free or nothing. No, it had nothing to do with that. It was all politics. We have more people, we have more money, and we can have people declare themselves Republican, declare, and take over that party too. You know how we libertarians saying that competition is good, the free market? Well, the Democrats don't do that. They want to monopolize the entire country, and they're doing it, and they have been doing it. It's only at the very local level that you actually have real Republicans. And as soon as you start rising up in the ranks to go into like the governor's seat and above, that's when you get the real scoop. You play ball or else. This should not shock you if you are awake and aware. This woman saying that she can abort a baby the very day that it's supposed to give birth, abort. Remember, cut it up, destroy it, suck it out. She says that's A-okay. That should not shock you if you're awake and aware. I said that you people should get involved into politics. Well, get involved. The very first part is understanding what monster you're actually dealing with. It is a very ugly, sinister monster. No human who calls himself a human who believes in the freedom of humanity and that humanity should continue into the future should be a part of the Democratic Party. Now, I said that they take over the Republican Party too, so that leaves you a choice of you have to go with a third party. I would say most of the third parties all don't get involved in this at all. And when I say at all, does the Constitution talk about government getting involved in health issues? No, it doesn't. So, but the largest third party is the Libertarian. Actually, it's not the largest. It's the one with the most actually elected officials. The Libertarian Party has more elected officials actually sitting in the seat than all of the other third parties put together. So libertarians get things done. And we do have some money that floats around the Libertarian Party, just like the Democrats, just like the Republicans. And here's the reality. You need money to have a political party in the United States. So all of these people crying freedom, 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 but not donating to the Libertarian Party, you're just a wannabe. If you're going to be involved in the Libertarian Party, you're going to have to at least donate $1, $5, something, right? Obama in 2008 made history with receiving donations less than $20 from millions and millions and millions of Americans. Had a huge war chest. Don't be shocked by this. This is what the Democratic Party is all about. And that includes establishment Republicans. It's all one party. Thank you for watching the Chicago Live Show.